smoke is quieting down. Seems like we've got to a lot of the smoke. Dub, you got smoke?
So Candace Owens has a beef and a gripe with Rabbi Shmuley. He is what people call one of the most feared Jews in the world. All right. Black people always have to walk on eggshells when it comes to the Jewish media. And I always wondered why. Who are these people? What do they say to our black leaders or celebrities that make them look soft to us or certain black people on the streets? You know? Well, Candace Owens shines the light on one of the most feared Jews around the world, Rabbi Shmuley. Him and his family has sent death threats and all types of warning messages to Candace Owens, Kanye West, and I'm pretty sure much more. Right? Kanye West even shared text messages about a trainer or somebody like that of his named Harley Pasternak. And he said that if he didn't shut up in the media, they would drug him in a hospital and do all types of weird things to him. And, you know, he wasn't even brought up on charges or anything like that. So Candace Owens shines a light on Rabbi Shmuley and the Hollywood community on how it could be a mafia or a racket or some type of cult. In my opinion, she's shining the light on this. And us as a black community, I think we should look into this because Rabbi Shmuley, as I will deep dive into this video later, about what he says on a blog in the Times of Israel. Look at the files.
The more we're gonna call her out. Defending Kanye, we will come for you.
It's utterly ridiculous. It's insane. I know many Jewish people watch this show. Many Jewish people are my friends. And so what I believe is something that should be explored is whether or not what's happening is that just like within all communities, there are gangs, right? Gangs can form. We understand this. In the black community, we've got the Bloods and we've got the Crips. Well, imagine if the Bloods and the Crips were doing horrific things, murdering people, controlling people with blackmail. And then every time a person spoke out about it, the Bloods and the Crips would call those people racist, would get the media to say those people were racist. Any person that was talking about a specific gang, a small group of people, would say, oh my God, no. That's like slavery. You can't at all say anything bad about the Bloods and the Crips. And the entire black community believed it and was scared and thought, oh my God, like, is slavery actually coming back? It would be emotional manipulation because, of course, we would know that despite the fact that the Bloods and the Crips are black, that the majority of black people do not support the crimes that they have committed, the crimes that they continue to commit. It's a gang. But what if that is what is happening right now in Hollywood, if there is just a very small ring of specific people who are using the fact that they are Jewish to shield themselves from any criticism? It's food for thought, right? And I think, again, there have been enough people that are speaking out about a ring in Hollywood, also a ring potentially in DC, that we should start to ask those questions. All of us, Black, Spanish, Jewish, Chinese, Japanese, all Americans should want answers because this appears to be something that is quite sinister.
Candace made a great point here. You know, we should all as a people, Asian American, Jewish American, African American, as all Americans, Latin American, all of us should want to know what's going on with this, right? You know, Hollywood media being classified as a gang, right? Or even some type of cult is crazy. You know, she used the reference for the Bloods and the Crips in the black community. So now just imagine Hollywood as the Blood or the Crips, but the leaders are Jewish. Now, every time someone calls them out, they say the person is anti-Semitic to brush off or shield the issue and make the opposer seem racist for just questioning or having an issue. Now, if every time the Bloods and Crips murdered somebody, and when the media spoke about it, black people came out and said, no, That's racist. You can't talk about us like that and try to, X this person out of media just because they spoke about the crimes that they did. That would be absurd, right? And that seems to be like what's going on. It's like a racist trope, It's very weird. So now we have to start breaking him down. He runs a blog in the Times of Israel, right? Where he writes different pieces about whatever he thinks about. But now this is for a lot of different Jews. A lot of different Jews are reading this. They go to the Times of Israel. So now if they're reading his post, that means that this is what he's trying to get them to think about us, right? Which is crazy. Now, this specific article that I'm reading to you is titled, Jews Must Be Feared Rather Than Loved. And it starts off by saying, a short column like this doesn't allow me to engage in the reasons for 2,000 years of anti-Semitism. And even if it did, we might never figure it out. But it does allow me to dwell on a question that is nearly as important. Whatever the reason for anti-Semitism, why are we Jews so bad at fighting it? The answer is simple. Jews prefer to be loved rather than feared. No, that doesn't go far enough. They are desperate to be loved, and all desperation betrays weakness and is easily detected by our enemies, right? Now, you see how passionate that was? You see how he speaks to his Jews, and he's going to get them to feel like, oh, yeah, this isn't enough space for you to talk about our 2,000 years of anti-Semitism. Yeah, all right, of course it's not. You got a little blog page, but you want to do that to make them feel like that. All right, so he knows how to use his words very good, as you can see, right? And then in the next passage after, he says, he ends it with, detected by our enemies, then goes right into, in his outstanding 1992 movie Malcolm X, director Spike Lee accurately portrays how the same need to fit in, to be accepted, to assimilate into mainstream affected and influenced the life of young and criminal Malcolm Little. He straightened his afro hair, dated white woman, and despised his blackness. Wow. So this is what you tell your people, right? But you don't tell the good, you tell the bad, right? So then when you keep going, it just gets worse and worse, right? He starts talking about what the Nation of Islam did and Malcolm's hatred to white people. And he's talking about the hypocrisy of Elijah Muhammad. But then he said, but before Elijah Muhammad passed away, he was becoming a great man. All of these things are hate. Low key, it is hate. And he runs a blog and he's putting this out there to millions of Jews. Okay? So the part about this that really made me feel some type of way is when he started talking about George Floyd. Okay? It got really disgusting for me because he said the black community wanted to be feared more than loved. And how could you say that about the black community? You don't know me. You don't know me. So how could you say that I want to be feared more than loved? He said when George Floyd was murdered by a Minnesota cop in May of 2020, the black community never thought of being loved. They focused on being feared. That's what you're going to tell your Jews. So yeah, of course, they're going to have some type of crazy thought process about us. Then he goes off to say the message of Black Lives Matter was this: we're not going to take this crap anymore of black men being murdered by the police, of over $20 counterfeit bills. There was rage in the street, and if you didn't like it, tough. Change came about swiftly. Brother, my good brother, I never gave $1 to Black Lives Matter. do not put me or the people that I know with that. Not everybody coincides with Black Lives Matter. Not everybody that I know was rocking with that. So don't put out articles like this portraying black people as a whole and you not knowing what it is. Okay? And it's disrespectful to use Spike Lee, okay, after you're going to say your weakness is easily detected by our enemies. Your enemies are not us. It's not me. Are not the people that I know. We love Jews. We love all. We are, people that love all. Godly people, And you should be of that. Not on here spewing all of this about people for clicks. It's not right. Look at the files.
Speaking about, I very much abstained from speaking much about the issue because people were so emotional that people couldn't hear, even if I had shared. And even when Kanye did share that he was speaking about specific people in Hollywood that he believed were coming after him and were trying to control him. He actually named some of those individuals. He shared personal text messages of a friend of his, a personal trainer to the stars, who again happens to be Jewish, who was threatening to put him in the hospital and to drug him against his will. Harley Pasternak is his name, and the media barely reported on those text messages that he shared publicly because obviously he was enemy number one. And here's what else I will tell you. When that Kanye situation went down, I was being threatened by a person named Rabbi Shmuley, person that Michael Jackson put on his enemy list, the person that I had never heard of, was threatening me and saying that unless I came out and said things explicitly against Kanye, he would effectively ruin my life. He said that he would take out a front page ad and smear me as an anti-Semite. And it wasn't just him, it was also his daughter. They were messaging me saying, don't mess with Jews. Very bizarre stuff, and they have not stopped, to be clear. And him and his daughter have consistently pulled clips from this show, taken them out of context, and tried to convince Jewish people that I hate them.
I just gave you guys a lot of my thoughts, and I would love for you guys to give me your thoughts in the comment section. Like, subscribe as well. And one thing about this that I do not agree with is if he is using his platform to trash black people as a whole, that one is a horrible no-no and it needs to stop. The other thing is, if Hollywood media and the hierarchy there are using their power and their money to shut up our people that we see are growing and building in the black community, like the Kanyes, like the Candace Owens, like the Oprah Winfrey's or the Jay-Z's or whomever, they shouldn't be threatened. They shouldn't feel scared to say what they want to say, right? Just like whomever wants to say it, like this guy has a platform to speak to a lot of Jews, but I'm like us black people, I'm pretty sure a lot of black people in the hood don't know about the times of Israel, right? But a lot of our platforms are always publicized. Like we're just on the YouTubes. We're on all the platforms that is public. The shade rooms and all of this stuff is on Instagram. All of our stuff is like public. He has something that is hidden. Technically, it's not hidden, but it's hidden. They're not talking about the times of Israel all on Instagram. So, you know what I mean. Okay, this has to stop. Our people should not be scared to talk. and to give their think pieces about how they feel. They shouldn't be shunned about it or said that they're racist about it, because when people of other ethnicities or races talk about things in the black community, I know I don't rush to go say, oh, they shouldn't be speaking about that because it's not, they don't look like me. If a crime is a crime, it's a crime. If something is wrong, it's wrong. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. And we'll be back with the files.
My guy Dub too. That's my man though.
Gang gang.
That's my man, Big Dub.